Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we're talking about a 5-year-old little girl named Summer Moon Utah Wells who vanished from her Rogersville home on June 15th, 2021. Since then, there's been no sightings of Summer Moon Utah Wells, and we don't know what happened to her. But recently, after 4.5 years, it seemingly was a break in the case as they were searching 9.5 miles from her Ben Hill Road home. And we're going to be talking about a lot of that this evening. So stick around on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace. Smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong. But honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith.
Thank you, Sweet Cheetah. Appreciate you, my dear.
Faith in my heart, fire in my clouds, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is the second day of December 2025. It is currently 5:45 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, everyone. Is it cold where you're at, or is it warm? It's freezing here. We didn't get any, well, we got ice. We got a little ice, but that's enough. That's enough. Thank you so much, Sue. Good to see you. Hello, Lindsay Rose, Wild Angel, Cherie, Tropicana, Tequila, Ryan, Robin, LSC, Dream. It's going fast now. Kelly, Callie, good to see you. Tiptoe, Connie Johnson, Canadian Cookie, Jess. Uh, is it Mod? It used to be Mod. Is that used to? Did you change it? Dream, good to see you. Angel of Light, good to see you. I'm out. Mom of an Angel, Mary George, Ruby, Copper, Tropicana, Kelly. I know it's freezing where you're at, girl. Tears, Chemistry Queen, Lolo, Garden Critters, Baba Rose, Be a Ladybug, good to see you. Lil Red, Snarky, Shell, Pam, Carol, Jess, Golden Star, Mousy, good to see you. Klinger, Pugs, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Before we get started, if you don't mind, for my live chat in here and my replay crew, how are you? Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Would be very, very thankful. And share the live out would mean so much to me as well. Um, I just saw Ryan in here last night. Jinkies is a channel. Her name is it Jinkies Word on the Street? I was over there. Jinkies is a local Tennessean, and I went up on her panel last night. We had a good conversation. Ryan joined us. It was great having him up there, hearing his thoughts on all of it. It was a really good live. So go over there and check Jinkies out. If y'all, Jinkies Rumor has it. If y'all can drop Jinkies the link, that would be good. It's a great live last night. Good panel. So what we're going to be talking about today is the case of Summer Moon Utah Wells. Want to give some notes before we get started. Everything that I say is my opinion and my opinion only. Opinions are not facts. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is innocent unless and until proven guilty. There has been no suspect named in Summer Moon Utah Wells's case. So there's that. Form your own opinion, do your own research. My opinion will change probably tomorrow based upon I'm constantly researching, and as new things come in, so can your opinion. So I just want to give that as well. So thank you. I just want to get all of that out there. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Retro, thank you so much. Really appreciate you, my friend. Good to see you. How you doing? Appreciate you, my dear. Y'all welcome Retro back. Thank you for renewing your membership. Really do appreciate you, my dear. And Cheetah. Girlfriend, really do appreciate you, my friend. And Chemistry Queen, how you doing? Welcome. We have good chemistry, don't we? Thank you so much, Chemistry. Appreciate you. Good to see you, my friend. Riley's Nana, thank you so much, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you for your support. Means so much to me, my dear. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for being a member. Good to see you. Chemistry Queen, have been in 19 months. You're an OG. Shall we say? Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. They have not found Summer Wells. No, they have not found Summer Wells. I was awake until about 8 o'clock this morning, and I slept from about 8 to 11:30, and I've been up ever since. So a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about today. My opinion has never wavered. Really, Barb, mine hasn't as far as the parents. I've never wavered and still don't waver on the parents. I believe specifically, in my opinion, Don Wells knows what happened to Summer Moon Utah Wells, in my opinion. And I believe Candace knows a lot more as well. And you guys know me. I believe what happens in the very beginning of a case is the most important. That's when all of people don't have time to change their stories, and creators are constantly uh, going after something else, something else, something else, and a lot of noise gets in the way. Sometimes I believe in life we get in our own way. So we're going to go back to some very, very old things. Thank you so much, Miss Melissa. Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you for being a member. It's so good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, honey. It's beautiful, Melissa. Thank you so much, hon. Okay. So, guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and we're going to get started. So, a couple, 3 weeks ago now or so, there was a very big tip. It seemingly was on Van Hill Road in the 3500 block. And allegedly, local law enforcement was out there. TBI, along with FBI, was out there. And we were talking to Ryan and Jinkies about this last night. They've never advertised a tip about Summer Wells, about anything coming in. And this property that they were on, it's a lot of acreage. It's a lot of acreage. And in my opinion, I believe that the owner of the property has literally nothing to do with it. In my opinion, if it's anybody, it's someone perhaps related to the owner of the property. And that's big. Don and Candace, they asked for comment, and they said that this was just usual drama, which is interesting to me. And going back to a lot of things that Ronnie Lawson said. Now, when they originally said that about the red truck, this red Toyota Tacoma, they said it had a ladder rack and it was a red or burgundy color. They said, I think it was 1999 to 2001. And I can tell you that the 3500 block of Van Hill Road, they did own a 1998 red Toyota Tacoma that was sold about anywhere from 8 months to a year or so after Summer vanished. Now, there's a lot of people that have Toyota Tacomas, though. Red Toyota Tacomas, all of that. I have also been told that at one point it didn't have a ladder rack, but it had it looks like a ladder rack, but it's like one of those things you keep, how you keep animals in when you're hauling animals. It looks like a ladder rack, and it could be even mistaken as a ladder rack, perhaps. So I found that very interesting. I do know locals around there, and they do say that one of the owner's children drove this truck quite a bit. Okay, so there's that. All right, Ronnie Lawson. They've always said that, and you're going to hear him in your own words here. Ronnie says, from the beginning, we want to speak to this person who was driving this truck. They're not a suspect, but they might know what happened, or saw something during the time Summer was being abducted, right? This person never, ever came forward. Now, maybe they didn't get the memo. Ronnie says maybe they were traveling through, or, maybe they knew more.
Witness who drives a red or maroon truck that was spotted in the Ben Hill Road neighborhood the afternoon of June 15th.
The biggest thing is the ladder racks and the white buckets means that they do some kind of work, and that vehicle was seen in the area sometime during her disappearance, and we're just wondering if they saw something.
And that's interesting words, during her disappearance.
They may hold that little piece I was talking about earlier that would blow this thing wide open, let us know where Summer is.
They may hold something that would blow this case wide open. Well, interesting, 4.5 years later, they're at a place that certainly had a red 1998 Toyota truck that is no longer there. Right? That is no longer there. They have spoken to the people that they sold it to, but then I believe those people had sold it before. Yes, Yilva, you're exactly right. That's what I always thought. But also, I was thinking, I always kind of thought, a ladder rack and buckets. That sounds like someone who's in some type of, carpentry or, something like that. But I have been told that this Toyota, again, once held, they used it for the pig farm, and they used it for farm use. They would take it into town and, just drive it around. It was just a kind of a work farm truck kind of thing. And a lot of times they'll put things on the back that holds animals that can look like a ladder rack, right? But also, a lot of times there's buckets in the back if you're on a farm and you're feeding slop to animals as well. So that's just a note, just an opinion, may mean absolutely nothing. I don't know. But, if there was this, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like it looks like a ladder rack, but it's like boards on both sides or whatever, so the animals can stay in. Okay, I just want to make sure y'all know what I was talking about. And then, buckets. Well, a farm, hello, and you're constantly carrying water or feed or slop, or, for like cattle racks, things like that. Thank you, Tracy.
They saw something, and we've searched and found so many of them, just not the right one yet.
She said, Mama, I want to go play with the boys. Candy walked her back to the house.
Okay. Now we're going to just kind of move on to something else. You're just going to have to follow me for a minute.
And she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
So this is summer, the date she went missing. Listen to this.
I won't drink again. Because them boys in my summer is the love of my life. I will never drink or do anything against them ever again.
This is Candace. She was drunker than a skunk, and right here, and she says that she'll never do anything against them again. Now, in my opinion, I gave her the information last night. Yeah, I gave her some information last night. She showed it. I've showed it here on my channel as well.
I mean, I don't.
You on which direction and
Everything's slow motion now.
I know.
Just bear with me.
At some point, Allie and Hunter and they'll find out that summer's gone. They completely flip on us, on Candace. You know, and I don't understand that.
Did you talk to them directly?
No, they won't talk to me. They won't talk to Candace.
And you're kind of on the beach there or on the shoreline there.
You see, there's a little like tree there or log.
Yeah.
She went like as far as that and not no farther. I just seen that she was underwater.
Well, that was taken after that. Mother's Day was the first time I saw her with her haircut, so that was probably taken close to Mother's Day right there.
Okay. So what day was Mother's Day in 2021? Is Mother's Day in May? Is Mother's Day in May? I'm trying to remember. I need to look.
You guys push out some information.
All right, listen to this.
About the red truck. I know that it's in
Listen to this.
We can talk about it with you guys. Is that still something you're looking for? Do you still want people to submit tips, or is that over and we're just not looking for the red truck?
I'm going to call on TBI Special Agent in charge, Derek Newport, just to talk about that and where that stands.
I will tell you.
Let me 1 second. This was.
But then you could walk this way and then go up the driveway, and the driveway, the paved road, but then you could walk this way and then go up the driveway, and the driveway at the base of the driveway where it's real steep going up, that was all blocked off with yellow tape. And there was people there and like side by sides and officers and stuff there. And then there were officers out the main road. It was probably around 10 o'clock or so. They finally, said, well, go ahead and go. I guess they wanted us to wait until the dogs were done doing their sniffing. They didn't want to mess up the scent.
Made sense.
So they let us go up after that. Now, David had already been up there before I had, and I don't know the details about when or how, but I know that he was there before I got there and had already talked to the family. Okay. And by the time I got there, they had not allowed us to go back up.
The rumor.
My daughter's probably on that.
Okay. Sorry, I put some of these out of order. I apologize. I'm trying to get them back in order. This is Don speaking about his daughter, about what he thinks may have happened to his daughter. And I want you to listen to this because we're going to be getting to tree trimmers and all of that shortly.
Streets right now somewhere. Nobody's listening to me. I know where she's at.
Don says he knows where she's at.
She's in a fucking motel room somewhere with some fucking weirdo.
She's at a hotel room with some weirdos. They're trying to sell her for Coca-Cola. I know how it works. I'm telling you what I've seen with my own eyes.
I did not understand it when I was younger.
I didn't understand it when I was younger, for those of you that can't understand me.
Imagine someone taking your daughter hostage.
Okay, this is another call of Dawn's.
Yeah.
Your beautiful daughter that you just got back, and they're playing games with your fucking head. Would you not want to kill them?
Yes, I would.
She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head.
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it. I think you can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control. So we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head so she wouldn't feel bad. And but
Thank you for that, Marie. May 9th, 2021. So Summer had her head shaved about a month. But
it didn't bother her at this point. Well, we knew all the time that was her, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her. Unfortunately, her downfall is a lot.
Okay. Again, this is something that drives me nuts in this case. And one of the things I was talking about last night. Normally, kids go outside and get abducted. They don't go inside and then get abducted, especially while parents or guardians or adults are outside on top of a mountain. And Dawn says here that Summer going outside was her downfall. And I'm going to show you multiple different things about them talking about Summer being outside. Now, the tree trimmers admit that they were right up in Dawn and Candace's and Summer's yard on the day that Summer vanishes.
A lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again.
Go get Summer. And in my opinion, this was the reason why the boys were saying, "Dad, I'm sorry, it wasn't me, or whatever." I think a lot of people read a little too deep into that, but Don is blaming the kids publicly. I certainly believe he would blame them privately to save his own ass.
And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person, and I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and I'm afraid that she won't be able to, locked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead.
This is day 13.
But it's a possibility.
Me and Candace know for a fact that Summer was abducted. We know that.
He knows for a fact that Summer was abducted.
But
can you share with me why you know for a fact, or how you know?
Well, the reason that I know is because I know my wife, and I know what kind of emotions and the heartbreak that she's been going through, and the way everything happened when she called me.
Have police given you any information on that, or anything pointing to that?
No.
That's unheard of.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson says that they have found no evidence Summer was abducted.
Why is it our property is any different than any other property where kids are abducted?
Why is your property different? Well, number one, you have about 14 out of the top 20 reasons of high statistics of something going wrong at your house. But statistically, where you are located geographically, it's just not even feasible, in my opinion. Let me just show you this. This is a good picture. Let me just show you this 1 second. So you can get, it's a little blurry, but nonetheless, let me show you this. And I can't, so this is Beech Creek Road, right? Or sorry, this is Ben Hill Road. This is Ben Hill Road. This is the beginning of Ben Hill Road. And then you go around this curve and you go this. And this is a huge ass hill. It's a mountain, not a hill. It's a mountain. And they're way up on this mountain. And it goes all the way around and you can go, you know, back down. It's kind of a circle. Once you get like right up here, it's that's kind of like when you're getting off the mountain or getting, you know, over the really, really steep part. And there's like grandma's bus is parked here and all that. So they are really far from the main road. They are extraordinarily far from any sort of interstate or anything like that.
Why? What makes them think, oh, there's no way an abduction can happen here, but everywhere else it's probable, but not this property?
You know, the most important thing you lost right now is your daughter, Mom. Yeah. It's your daughter. Okay, even if my daughter comes back, I no longer have a job. I have nobody no more.
He says, even if my daughter comes back, I don't have an effing job.
If my daughter's dead, there's a guaranteed spot for resurrection. And that's a lot of goals.
If my daughter is dead, it's a guaranteed spot in the resurrection. That's worth a lot of gold. A lot of gold. What does that even mean? If my daughter's dead, it's a guaranteed spot in the resurrection. That's worth a lot of gold. A lot of gold. Yes, Scorpio.
If my daughter's dead, there's a guaranteed spot for gold.
Yeah, Summer always be here with me. No matter what anybody says. When my sister came missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee.
Hold on.
When mom and sister came missing, I was in between Arkansas.
Can you touch her?
This is Ernie Shell. He did an interview with Candace a long time ago.
Now. No, I can't. I wish I could.
You can't even see her.
Don't you think I don't wish I can?
I know you wish you can. Do you think Don wishes you can?
What's your behavior?
You heard everything he said
about what he said.
I know you don't. But you heard what he said. How does that change your feelings about that, Candace? Knowing that's how he felt.
You know what? I have a whole lot of changed feelings. If someone was standing here right now in this kitchen and in this room, there'd be nobody that could stop me from running up and grabbing her and holding her and just loving on her every second that I could.
You talk to Don. Does he show that sort of passion about his missing daughter? Does he care that much, or is it just about a lot of gold?
Watch Candace's hand. Does Dawn, really care like that? And she goes,
Not much. Not much. Not much at all.
Let me find it. 1 second.
But I'm letting you know how I feel about the whole script.
And Josie.
So the boys.
And Josie. Wyatt. And Josie.
So the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Okay, went to work with Dawn.
That's what I was talking.
That's what.
There in front of them.
That's what Hunter was told. Candace told Dobbs that the boys went swimming with them, Candace, that day. And she says and she's like, no, she actually showed me pictures of that day. Hunter was the friend with Candace that day.
Okay.
And so I dap her up like usual. She comes in. We're all sitting down. I ask her what happened to her grandma because she wouldn't tell me over the phone. She said that she hurt her knee because of kids. Where did she say she went on vacation for? Gatlinburg. She said she went to Gatlinburg for a little vacation with the kids, and the kids kept kicking her leg. And she has supposedly a plastic knee or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took her to the hospital.
Was at the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
And who's with her that day?
Just Summer.
Just Summer. Okay.
Not the entire day until we pick up the grandma.
Okay.
Not the entire day until we...
Okay, 1 second. I didn't think I recorded this.
Summer walked out of the house? Well, she didn't say somebody took her out of the house. She said she walked out of the house.
Now, according to, this is Sherry, this is Allie's mom. When they first talked, and, take it for what you will, but Sherry says that Candace told them that Summer walked out of the house. That she walked out of the house.
She walked out of the house. That's what Candace told you that night at 1 in the morning. What else she said?
That was about it because I hung up on her.
Yeah. So she said Summer walked out of the house.
Yeah, she goes,
well, I didn't
she was downstairs in the basement. She opened up the door and just walked out.
I asked them when
Said she was downstairs. She looked in the basement, and Summer just walked out.
Summer's birthday. That was you.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay, let me fast forward it here. 1 second. Oh, that's a 911 call. That Summer was literally screaming, help me, help me. Okay.
County was where Summer Wells was last seen 1 week ago. It's also where her father, Donald Wells, was arrested back in October over a domestic assault incident. That incident led to her mother filing an order of protection against him.
Okay, so you see this dead end sign right there? This is the beginning of Ben Hill Road, and you go down here and you're going to kind of go a little curve, and then you're going to kind of go another little curve, and then right up here is where Don and Candace's driveway starts, and you start going up that mountain. Who in their right mind is going to just this rando stranger is going to go on a dead end road and climb up a mountain to abduct a child? Candace tried to get order of protection against Don because they got in a fight. Candace dropped the charges, or asked the judge to drop the charges. The judge agreed, and Don bought Candace a brand new Subaru after that. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I said this. I think I might have, but I'm not sure. Don, he wrecked that Subaru on Van Hill Road. This, I think it was in late spring, very, very early summer of this year when he wrecked that. Guess who took him home when he wrecked his car? Yep. Mr. Hill took him home. He has.
The following day. Tonight, Summer's father tells us that he and his wife have put that incident behind them, and all they want is for their daughter to come home safe.
That's all we can hope for, is for God to produce a miracle for all the Christian folks around here, because there's so many people praying.
Authorities say Summer.
That's Dawn. The first week, him talking about the resurrection and all this right after Summer vanished.
All the Christian folks around here, because there's so many people praying.
Authorities say Summer Wells' parents have cooperated during the investigation, but according to Hawkins County court documents, this is not the first time officers were dispatched to the home on Ben Hill Road. They were there on October 14th for a domestic assault. Summer's mom, Candace Bly, told officers Donald Wells came home drunk and saw someone else in the house and believed that Bly was cheating on him.
I was in Utah, so she was thinking one thing and I was thinking another, but once we got to talk and figure things out, we smoothed it all out. I mean, it's just we weren't on the same page, a lack of communication.
The following day, Bly filed an order of protection against Wells. In the order, she says Wells drinks and throws things and that he was mentally and physically abusive. She said, quote, "I am afraid for my children and myself."
Because we were fighting, of course, people.
Yes, I've got that police record. It says he drinks and throws things, and I am afraid of being hurt. He is a drunk. I can't remember what that says. And okay, the spelling is really bad. Physically and mentally toward me, I am afraid for my children and myself. My mother fears he is going to hurt her because she is staying in the camper on the property.
I'm afraid for my children and my.
Remember the phone call, Summer saying, "Mom, help me, help me. Daddy's hurting me."
Because we were fighting, of course, people are going to tell the police whatever to get their way. We worked it out. She's apologized to me.
4 days later, Bly asked for the charges to be dismissed. Wells pleaded guilty to possession of a handgun while under the influence and turned the weapon over to the sheriff's office. The domestic assault charges and unlawful possession of a handgun were dismissed.
She went to the district attorneys. She even talked to the judge and told him that she made a serious mistake. And that's the end of it. She didn't get hurt, and I never hurt nobody.
After a full week of searching and still no sign of his little girl, Wells cherishes the last.
She made a mistake by dropping it.
Last time he saw
You're
her.
asking
The night
him.
before, she asked me to hold her hand where she could twirl. She loved to do that. And
This was about 10 months prior to Summer going missing. This would have been his third strike because he's a multiple felon. In my opinion, if Candace would have sent his ass to prison, Summer would not be missing today. Well, thank you so much, Hey Jude. Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much for gifting that pearl necklace. Appreciate you. If you received that pearl necklace, make sure you pay. Hey Jude, thank you so much, my friend. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We got 1,451 in both chats. Please.
that's the last time I really got to spend time with her.
As of now, no one has been named as a person of interest, and it's still unclear about what happened to the little girl. But her father and authorities say they aren't stopping until Summer comes home. In the Beech Creek community, Ansley Daniel.
Yes, I do believe he is the culprit of all this.
And someone just took her Why do you have to get over her?
Did you have anything to do with your daughter's
Listen to this. Wait. Not this. It's
She's
coming up.
alive and someone just took her. Why do you have to get over her?
Don said he has to get over Summer. How could you get over your daughter whenever you don't know what happened, allegedly, and you say you have nothing to do with it? You never get over a death or someone missing, right?
Did you have anything to do with your daughter's disappearance?
Well, I'm at work all day, every day, you know. I love
Listen to
my
this.
daughter with all my heart, and I try to love everybody. And it's been a real experience, you know, me turning to YouTube for help and seeing the nature. I've never seen anything like this in my life, so it's been quite a lesson to me. I've never been on YouTube or Facebook or anything. I probably never will again if I can help it, but it's been quite an experience.
Answer the
It's been
freaking
very
question, Don.
educational. You know, I've learned a lot.
So, yes or no to the question?
Okay. Oh, well, I mean, no.
Oh, yeah, I mean, no. He is a lunatic. We're going to get into here shortly more about the timeline that day. Hey, guys, trigger warning. This is going to be some nasty language here. This was the night Don and Candace was on Molly's channel.
I have 7 alibis.
What?
If not more. Baby, don't break my fucking door. Come on.
No,
I have 7 alibis. I have 7 alibis. Candace ain't going down. She's going down.
Don, this is where the 7 alibis come from. Don says, I have 7 alibis. Candace has none. She's going down. But why would she go down? It's very similar to Jack and Lily's case when Daniel says, I'll visit Malaya in prison with Meadow. But they also say that they have no information on their daughter's disappearance or know anything about it, and they are completely innocent. They were very much drunk. I guess Don, this is when he said Starlink, which is the version of Subaru, like OnStar. He says that, Starlink is one of his alibis because it, tracks where you are. But Don, it also tracks what time you left, what time you started the car, where you drove that car, your speed, which doors opened, all of that. Now they broke your entire cars apart. And you got to also remember, Don repeatedly said on the lab with Chris McDonough from the interview room that, this has been a couple years ago, that he did not take that Subaru that day. So which is it? Now we're going to get a little bit deeper into this in just a little bit.
Candace ain't going down. She's going down. Candace ain't going down. She's going down.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see anything like
This is
No, not really. See, I got a piece of equipment part that come out there. I hollered that morning. I didn't recognize them, but later that day, Well, the next day when the FBI got it, Randy brought it to my attention.
Okay, so the next day, this tree trimmer says that there is a heavy piece of equipment up there somewhere on Ben Hill Road. And the next day, Randy, this guy named Randy, brings it to the attention because the FBI talked to him.
God, he worked with him. They actually talked to him there. I was in the
They actually stopped and talked to him, Randy, that morning. And them meaning Grandis and Candace. And this is where the co-workers, one of these guys is dead now that Ziggy was talking to. His last name is Childers. He is dead now. But Randy allegedly says that he stopped and talked to Grandis and Candace that morning when they were leaving, and Summer was in the back of the truck asleep.
mother, the mama, and son.
Yeah, did you see anything like
No, not really.
You see how high on the mountain they are? Like, see that this is the mountain, right? And down here is where the road is. They're way up on a mountain.
Yeah, I got a picture.
Honestly, one of the best pieces of property around there.
I didn't recognize them, but later that day, or the next day when the FBI got it, Randy brought it to my attention. The guy he worked with. They actually talked to him there. I was in the pickup truck. The mother, the mama, and son.
so you saw some?
Well, she was in the truck. Randy said that she laid up in the back of the truck.
Did she? Oh.
Now, I think that's interesting. This guy, Randy, mentioning seeing Summer. I find that interesting. It could be a coincidence. It may not be. You know, you can have your own opinion on that. But he says he saw her that morning.
The extended cab?
Yeah, I guess it was Thursday.
Was that morning?
Yeah. No, because where we're from Moore County area that way, they give us drive time. At that time, we was leaving 3:30 of the day. So we didn't know nothing about it until we come back to work the next morning.
Hold on, let me back that up.
From Moore County area that no, because where we're from Moore County area that way, they give us drive time. At that time, we was leaving 3:30 of the day.
So they left at 3 or 3:30 that day. Now, one thing that may be coincidental, it may not be, is Candace gets home at about 3:12, 3:15, and Candace's, and Dawn's phone is deleted from 3:30 p.m. onward that day. That is not me saying that. That is coming from Dawn's actual lips saying that. And these guys are getting off anywhere from 3 to 3:30 that day.
So we didn't know nothing about it until we come back to work the next morning.
He says, we didn't know nothing about it until we came back the next day. And allegedly, Randy was not at work the next day.
You guys know of Fred Hill, Jamie Killian? Any of those names ring a bell? Dudley Ajon? Well, do you know Don Wells or not? Okay. He's claiming. So these guys over here don't know him either.
No.
Yeah.
It was actually outage that day. I worked the repairs of the beard.
Now, this guy, he says that there was a power outage around that area that day. There are people that says there was no power outage that day. I don't know. I truly have no idea on that.
He was one working over there home most of the day. I think it was like later part, like after lunch.
Now he's talking about Randy. He was working over there most of the day, especially in the afternoon. Kat, thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you. 15 months, girl. How are you doing? Really do appreciate you. I'm not usually awake to get you love, but I love you, Justin. I'll be in replay crew as always. Thank you so much, Kat. So good to see you, darling. 15 months. Really do appreciate you, my love.
So your guys' work crew saw Summer the morning.
Yeah. I was over there that's before you started, wasn't it? No, I worked that out. When he hit that car, that's the same day.
So
yeah, we was up to Hollywood the day y'all went.
So why did they stop and talk to the?
We had the roadblock for a big piece of wood.
Oh, so but did they talk to the Randy? You said that
Randy,
Randy
spoke to him.
And she was.
No, he's back in North Carolina.
Randy, what's his last name? Do you know? Do you think he would talk to me?
I can't know what Randy. Randy.
You all what, Davey?
Yeah, Davey.
You're Wolf, but what?
Wolf and Davey's pretty much the same thing.
So this was Wolf and Davy Tree Service. From what I understand, they also contracted other locals out around that time.
Yeah.
Now, the 3500 block of where they was searching a couple weeks ago, these individuals do own a tree service, and that's a little interesting if you ask me. Yes, Grace. Yep, they were the one that Davies was the main ones over that. And that's true always. Like, we can have a power outage here and half our neighborhood will still have power. Yes, that's absolutely true. Guys, how many thumbs ups do we got in both chats right now? Mods, we
So, bunch of us from up around that way, Moretown. I live in Moretown. I'm so glad. We lost our contract in Jefferson City. I'm Paul Jr. Childress.
Oh, your name's Paul Childress? That's a common last name here, isn't it?
I don't know if it's Childress or Childers.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know where Bates Station's at?
Yeah. I drive through Main Station every day here.
Okay. So there wasn't a lot of bombing. You guys park your equipment here at night or something? And all
Out here, no, I was like everybody wasn't in any conflict. The only thing that went on was
where's
right when I
Bowser
got out
Cemetery?
was the Afghanistan.
I have it, man. You have it pulled up? Okay.
We a few guys sent over there. I know there are a couple of cemeteries up there.
Now, this Randy guy, again, who supposedly did not show up the next day, allegedly, he also allegedly made a big boo-boo that day. He cut something that he wasn't supposed to cut or something like that, allegedly. Which to me, I find interesting. Was his mind somewhere else? Was it a genuine accident? I don't know. That I don't know. Hey, Foss, thank you so much, my love. Good to see you. Appreciate your support. His terminology is telling. I think his guilty subconscious is running through. Susan B. Thank you, Susan. Good to see you, my love. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. No, lovely.
That way, remember what we're saying about the bombs went off.
I went to that's why I was walking over there to check to see if that was about. And what's your name now? Scott Sanders. Yeah.
Has threatened to kill Dawn. Because he brought his name up.
Craziness. I mean, so.
We were down there past her house. I think she lives on the Ben Hill Road.
Uh-huh.
We were down there past her house. I think we were on Ben Hill Road.
We were down past it, and there's like a gravel entrance. And
we were down there past it, and there is like a gravel entrance, and we had an incident there. We cut the line, had to put the line back up.
We had an incident there. Went and helped the lineman put the line back up.
Okay, so
and, they did send us in there, but it was just turning the trucks around.
Yeah, that driveway is ridiculous.
Where are you working on that? Is that the one where that creek's right there? The big old dead tree? Yeah, we was working in there. I took a dead tree down.
Yeah, and her.
Yeah, we was working in there.
Yeah, their house was like.
Hey, Dawn come up there in the morning.
Dawn came up there the morning after all that stuff happened.
The day after
the
summer.
day, yeah. We're talking about him being in prison and all that. Who does that? You know, that accused me. So why the hell would you be going to talk about stuff like that?
The day, next day. His hero is Donald Trump. So.
Yeah. Well, I know he was up on that morning when we got there.
Like super early or?
Around probably 8:30.
Oh, he didn't go to work at home. But yeah,
they actually got fired for tearing the line down, and this is his old truck and everything. I got his truck now. No, he transferred over.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to just say something. We're going to stop right here for 1 second. A lot of people are saying that Robin Lane bought a truck from Paul Hill. That never, ever, ever, ever happened at all. Robin Lane bought a red Toyota a few weeks before for her husband before Summer went missing. And this is someone recently, it says, I highly doubt Paul has anything to do with it. I'm sure he was questioned about the red truck because he had one and actually sold it to my husband years ago. And it's looked nothing like the truck posted other than it's a red and the Toyota truck. I disagree with that. I've shown you guys the picture of the actual truck. It was also pretty beaten up and where he used it for farming pit hogs and what's not and whatnot. TBI already asked us and investigated the truck. And they just said, look at the parents, pretty much. So Robin Lane has literally zero, zilch, nada, anything to do with Summer Moon Utah Wells's case, other than she was a positive figure for Summer, and Summer looked up to her, and that's it. Period. That's just it. I mean, like her or not, Robin was a positive influence for Summer when Summer didn't get a lot of positive influence.
They haven't accused you of Candace.
He actually got fired for tearing the line down, and this is his old truck and everything. I got his truck now.
Randy, got fired for cutting the lines. This is his old truck and everything.
No, he transferred.
He got transferred, according to this guy.
They haven't accused you of Candace or anything, right? Guys, I heard.
Man, Hey, you have to. I have 7 alibis.
Or at least have seen them before, but that day they've not seen this beard.
Okay, this is Christine 5555. She beautiful soul who was in the Summer Wells community. She passed way too young recently, and I don't want to talk like I get kind of teary eyed talking about Miss Christine. Miss Christine and I, we had some her and I used to go round and round about these tree trimmers because I thought, no, Christine, they have nothing to do with it. But Christine saw a lot of this before, in my opinion, a lot of us did. And you guys just, if you pray or have good vibes, say a prayer for Christine's children and her husband and her family. And I believe Christine has all the answers now that she is up there with Summer and knows everything now.
Guy before, but he was up there working on the property. Who's the bearded guy?
Okay, so there was this bearded guy that was supposedly up there on the property. This individual, this Randy guy, does have a beard, but so does 50% of males, right? So does 50% of males. So, but it's interesting. Again, I will never believe this is a coincidence that Candace was in the drive-thru. She told Hunter to be quiet. Don called. There's a guy up on the property trying to touch the kids. Well, first of all, again, how would Don know? Second of all, why did nobody do anything about it? And Hunter is a kid at this time. He has no reason to make anything up like this. I know always late. It makes me want to cry, to be honest with you. And there was this guy, and Hunter said the guy's name was Andy. And Candace doesn't really talk clearly a lot of the times. And also he's a kid and he doesn't, they don't really think too deeply or listen too well. In my opinion, I think it could have been a Randy.
Working on the property. So Don and Candace. So Don's at work. Candace, Grandma, and
look how beautiful Christine is here. You know how old she was here? 50 or 51 years old. She looks like she's 20 here.
And Summer are not home either. So who's the only ones home? The boys. So the boys.
Now, Don was home. I'm just going to tell you guys that Don was home. Even the tree trimmers said they saw Hunter, or not Hunter, gosh. They saw Don up there at 9:30.
Would not think that's suspicious that there's a guy up there working on their property because the tree trimmers and the cleanup crew from the tree trimmers had been there for a week or so.
Yes, the tree trimmers had been there for a week or so. And allegedly, Don said that there was this guy named Andy up on the hill that's been there all week trying to touch the kids. Well, the tree trimmers were there all week. They were. That's a fact. And They were right up, literally in their yard.
It would not be unusual to see someone walking through their property or up on their property. So I think that's why whoever was watching this family, that's why they felt comfortable to be up there, because
now I don't think there personally that there was someone watching this family, but this video is over a couple of years old. But I do believe Don was talking with, I know that he was talking with the tree trimmers. The tree trimmers say that he was, even.
Because they could hide in plain sight. There's all kinds of people up there on their property. Jody Sue says it. Don says it. Candace says it. When Ziggy did her interview, which was a very good interview, by the way. Thank you, Ziggy. You did very well asking these questions and getting them to answer. They say they were up on the property that day. You can't dismiss that.
What happened to my picture? I don't know what happened to the picture.
I don't know why anybody would dismiss that. So, and let's continue on with the suspects here. So you've got anybody would dismiss that. So, and let's continue on with the suspects here.
Here, I'm at 30.
So you've got the tree trimmers saying
25.
that there's a bearded guy up there working on the property.
Just bear with it for a second,
And they're obviously, they don't know who he is, because they wouldn't call him the bearded guy. Who's the bearded guy? So one of the tree trimmers has already passed away, the Childress.
Yes.
And I started just to look in a little bit into the background of his background. Not much, but I come across a child that is missing in the Childress family. I don't know if it's his family, but there is a child missing and has been missing for years.
So there was a in the Childress guy, there was a child missing.
You can see it for or person missing at all. Like,
1 second.
What did Fred Hill say to Ziggy that Roy Lynn
Hold on, crap.
Simpson, aka Cotton, knows where Summer's body is, that he...
Now, if Christine says this, I believe it. I don't remember. If anyone remembers Fred saying that Roy Lee Simpson knows where Summer's body is, can you guys let me know in chat if you ever heard that? I mean, if Christine says it, I 1 billion% believe her. But that's interesting if Fred did say something like that. So if anyone remembers that, let me know in chat.
He said they actually put Summer's body in Laurel Run Park by a waterfall, over a cliff, under the water.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of people that's in this case that has died in the last 4.5 years. But I will also say a lot of these people lived a very high risk life. I know the screen is black. I don't know why, but
Water.
It is.
Why would...
1 second.
Why would he say that? Why would Fred Hill say that? I know some people are saying that he's lying, but Why would he say that on
Yeah,
a missing?
seriously, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think Fred said this while he was still in jail. While he was still in jail talking to Ziggy. Dawn and Candace has gotten away with the one. No, as much as I can't stand Dawn and Candace, Candace has nothing to do with their sister's disappearance.
Child case.
And recently, Jody Sue has said that
Now, this is Jody Sue stuff about different things she has said about that day. And this, to me, is very, very interesting, what we're about to cover here. Mods, how many thumbs ups do we got in both chats? Come on, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. Would really, really appreciate it. How many thumbs ups do we got? Yes, Fred sent Ryan on a wild goose chase to team up with Marvin to find. When Fred was in jail, this is what he told Ziggy. Why would he say something like that, though? Is he just saying it to say something? You know what I mean? 653. Come on, guys. Come on. Please hit the thumbs up. Please. Don't make me beg. I thumbed it twice. Come on, let's get to 1,000 thumbs up in both chats, please. I was 400. Thank you so much. We're at 715. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Phone and TV. Thank you, second to no one. I don't like, I love. That's amazing. I was 333. Thank you so much. Patty Allen hit the like. Kelly was 104. Come on, Pearls. Yeah. Hey, Grubby Goat. Good to see you. Thank you, Funny Face Brenda. Justin, just tell us who did it. I wish it was. I wish. I wish. I was up till 8:30 this morning with this digging. So I wish I knew it was. I wish it was that simple. That we had it done 4.5 years ago. 741. Come on, get to 1,000, y'all. In my opinion, no one's Ryan simply. Well, I mean, of course, I mean, you believe someone, and then you believe someone till you don't, right? Thank you, Chemistry Queen, for 19 months, my dear. Really do appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much. By the way, Marvin was no show for Ryan. Who's Marvin? I don't even know who Marvin is. Do I ever sleep? Once a year, whether I need to or not. Don didn't. Oh, Don has said it. He has absolutely said it. Do I know who's responsible for Summer's disappearance? Hell no, I don't. I mean, I believe Don and Candace know.
that she
I believe they, in my opinion, are involved. I would.
is the one that saw that red flash. So we do have a contradiction there in Jody Sue's on statement.
Hold on. Let me see where I'm at right here. 3342. Let me see if I can fix the screen. Hold on. Oh, that might be why. Shit.
The witness who
33. I got it now. Okay.
That she's the one that saw that red flash. So
Well, damn.
We do have
Why is it not?
a contradiction there.
Oh my God. 1 second, guys. I'm trying to fix it so it'll. See it better. Okay.
Drives a red
case.
Been recently, Jody Sue has said that she's the one that saw that red flash. So we do have a contradiction there in Jody Sue's on statements.
Okay, so allegedly Jody Sue said that she saw the red flash going up the hill, and then at other times it was allegedly she said her son saw the red flash. I'm starting to think the whole Cotton Simpson thing was a sad story. It doesn't jive with it. Yep, I don't think Cotton had anything to do with it at all. I think it was bull hockey myself.
And
What do you feel?
This is when she was on the last listen. God.
I mean, we all know statistics. In one way, I hope like hell she's not chained in somebody's damn basement somewhere.
What else have we heard?
Thank you so much, Drew. 19 months. Appreciate you, darling. Appreciate the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. Listen to this, y'all.
Those two statements.
But for me, I still think stranger abduction is possible. But I'm not saying that's what it was. I wish every day I could delete that scream somehow. It will make my other theories a hell of a lot more easy to put together and be like, aha. I think her being taken out of there because CPS showing up the next day is also a possibility. I think somebody getting super lucky falling in back from Warriors, which has been notorious for pedophiles the past 2 years.
But I'll tell you, for like the first time in my life, I have the worst case of poison ivy or sumac or oak. Like, I never get that shit. And I just don't know if it's that I have no medicines in my system and obviously no gland to regulate the rest of my body. What's going on? But I've gotten it for the first time in my life. And y'all,
1 second here.
like, is this what normal people do? Like, because I could always roll in this shit. And it's.
You actually been to where they live at?
Let me find it. 1 second, guys.
Another Don or Donald?
Mm-hmm. Yes, actually.
Where he's talking about?
Bear with me 1 second.
For child porn?
Yes.
And not.
And they accidentally make a video for like 10 seconds.
They may have already killed her.
I have to go to the next video.
Interesting. Right, I went outside the house. It was on Ben Hill.
Theory in my head. So
yeah. First, what about neighbors? What?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna trade one of them next.
Yeah.
And they've always said you were at work.
Yeah.
With the boys. I did know that. Okay. But I did not know that Tom took shower with Summer. That I didn't know.
I think that's
a cool guy. No, fuck no!
There's a creek up and down it.
Yeah. I mean, what is this creek called? The Beech Creek?
No. This is Walker's Ford.
Walker's Ford. But they all connect, right?
Well, no.
That was JLR. 1 second here. I think we have to go to the next video. 1 second.
Home and just or obviously that where it has my summer, or our summer, my and Donnie's summer, bring her home and just let her come back to home where her mom and daddy loves her. And I have so much for her.
Listen
I
to
want
this.
her to come home so bad. This fall, I give birth to 3 boys. 3 beautiful boys. And then summer come along. And she was the most beautiful, intelligent girl I've ever known in my life. And I miss her with everything I have. I don't have nothing, but I miss her with everything I have.
Listen to what she says right
You
here.
know, and I don't like saying this, and I don't want to say this at all, but I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys because they're still here and still living and still in foster care and boys because they're still here.
Candace says that she has to put Summer on the side and focus on her boys because the boys are still living. Why didn't the parents brush that baby's hair? Oh, they shaved it. Yes. I mean, it's bad enough to put her on the side. But that Summer was, but the boys was still living. Candace knows, in my opinion, I would bet you anything what happened, that she knows what happened to those to Summer. Absolutely knows what happened to Summer. There's just nothing that will convince me otherwise, to be quite honest with you. Hold on, let me play this. I'm trying to pull up the
The living is still in foster care and the living is the living. I don't want to do that.
You know, or something, or somebody put in our car.
What do you think should happen?
I have to leave it to God, you know.
This part right here, I will never forget. Chris, I found it. Chris asked, what should happen to the person that did something to Summer?
What do you think should happen?
I have to leave it to God, you know, and I know what prison's like, and I have mercy for anybody who's in prison, because you're lucky if you get out of there alive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So would you want to see this person in prison?
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No,
it just depends on all the circumstances, you know.
What if it was an accident?
You wouldn't put the person who abducted your daughter and, like he says, possibly did horrible things to Summer. You wouldn't put them in prison? It is very telling. And that is the answer of the guilty, in my opinion. Yes. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Well, you know, that's different, you know. And accidents happen, you know.
Yeah, so I have to ask you some more questions. I told you this. Did you do anything to Summer? No.
Listen to
Do you
this.
know what happened to Summer? No. Do you know who took Summer? No. Anybody in
Do you know who took Summer? No. Now listen to this.
your family involved?
Listen to this.
No. Anybody in your family involved with this? Not that I'm aware of, no.
Not that I'm aware of. Not that she is aware of. How interesting. How interesting is that? Okay. I'm trying to pull this up, guys. Okay. Yeah, that says a lot if you ask me. Not that I'm aware of. Okay.
No, and it's not a
Bear with me 1 second. Not sure if I played this one yet or not. Yep, I played this one. 1 second. Delete this one.
Okay. So
I wouldn't have been ashamed if I did.
well, I know.
That,
Well, yeah, I mean and that's kind of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
What if I walked out there?
Okay, this is it. This part here. Listen to what Candace says right here.
Okay.
Because remember, most people that says their child is abducted, the person goes outside and is abducted, right? There's multiple times Dawn and Candace slip on this. You're going to see right here. The very first interview, Candace says, I know no one came up here and abducted my daughter by her swing. And she points her head like that. And the boys told Jody Sue and others, I'm thinking that they last saw Summer by her swing. Don says we weren't 40 feet from her in his very first interview that he did with the Rogersville newspaper. It was within 72 hours of Summer going missing. Listen to this.
It's a good Christian.
Yeah, sister in Christ. Come
Yeah,
back home.
to help.
Right here.
What if I did that right? What if I walked out there with her? What if I did this? What if I did that?
What if I walked out there with her? What if I did this? What if I did that? Well, Candace, according to her story, she was outside when someone abducted or Summer. Remember, she was helping her grandmother. Her grandmother was sitting there in the camper and she was fixing her knee brace 2 to 3 minutes. But listen to this.
Yeah, sister in Christ. Come back home.
To help.
Right. What if I did that right? What if I walked out there with her? What if I did this? What if I did that? I walked out there with her. What if I walked out there with her? What if I did this? What if I did that? I walked out there with her.
She said, Mama, I want to go play with the boys. Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
Hell no. I won't drink again. Because them boys in my summer is the love of my life. I will never drink or do anything against them ever again. I mean, I don't.
You on which direction and
Everything's slow motion now.
I know.
I will never drink or do anything to hit them ever again.
And scene. Okay.
I know. Well, at some point, Allie and Hunter and they'll find out that Summer's gone. They completely flip on us on Candace, you know, and I don't understand that.
Did you talk to them directly?
No, they won't talk to me. They won't talk to Candace.
And you're kind of on the beach there or on the shoreline there.
You see, there's a little like tree there or log.
Yeah.
She went like as far as that, and not no farther. I just seen that she was underwater for like 10, 15 seconds. So I was like, "Are you?"
Was told was the last place they seen.
This is Jody.
But what I was told.
She said, "Yeah, I'm just."
But what I was told was the last place they seen Summer was at the swing set.
This is Jody Sue talking. Shortly, long time ago, and she says the last place I was told Summer was that they saw her was by the swing set. Now, I think Jody Sue has, I don't believe a lot of things that she's said in the last couple years, but I do believe her on certain things. I do believe her on the scream. I do believe her with the boys here. I do believe her the initial part of what happened that day, or her view of what happened that day.
I said, okay.
Listen.
And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
My knee, I have a knee replacement, and she was worried that there was something wrong with it. And she took me into the hospital. And I ended up getting a shot for it to get rid of the pain. And they prescribed me medication to take to get the swelling down out of my knee. Then we waited around for my prescription. Summer went swimming that day at the horse stables, I believe it was.
At the horse stable, she believes it was. I believe you
And
stayed
then
with
we come
Allie.
back in. I went in my camper, and after we brought my groceries in for me, and the boys helped with that, and of course Summer. And I laid down and went to sleep, and I got up and I was sitting in my doorway. And
This is where she says she took a nap. One of the biggest top 20 red flags for the FBI when there is a missing child or a missing person or some crime going on is saying someone was asleep. Sometimes people are asleep, but it's a red flag normally. And this was introduced like 2 years after Summer went missing, the sleep
we
part.
come out and Candace asked me what I was doing. I said, well, we got to transplant these little cactuses into bigger pots. And we did that. And then Summer come in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite. And then she went in. She said, Mama, I want to go play with the boys. Candy walked her back to the house. And she asked the boys to keep an eye on her. And that's the last time I seen her.
No, and it's got to be a predator. Only a predator would come up here and take our daughter. This is not going to be somebody like, oh, I love you, Summer, and I just want to save you from a bad situation. 90% of the time.
Now, if you'll notice, Don is talking about predators here, and he says, you know, someone coming up the hill, you know, I just want to save you from a bad situation. He's clearly saying that Summer was in a bad situation, right? Does TBI have What was that? Where was that? I saw it a second ago. 1 second. Where was it? Does TBI have their text messages from 3:30 p.m. on that day? Well, I'm sure that they do now, but Dawn, Candace, and Grandis, their phones were randomly, they say, deleted from 3:30 onwards, which to me is key. That means, in my opinion, I believe Summer was abducted at around 3:30, and 3:30 to 4:30 maximum, in my opinion. And you can clip this, and when it's all said and done, I bet you it'll be 3:30 to 4:30.
Someone takes a little girl or whatever, boy even, for 90% of the time is because they're predators. So it's just not good. Somebody has hurt her, probably sexually, maybe beat the fuck out of her, probably killed her. Let's be realistic.
That's Dawn talking about what this person, whoever took Summer, may have done to her, rather.
This ain't gonna be good. And because of all the pressure, YouTube and the TV shows and everything else, they probably wanted to get rid of the evidence and they probably killed her. I mean, let's be realistic.
We were kind of hyper alert because of.
Okay, this is very interesting. This was Jody Sue when she was talking about her experience with the day Summer disappeared.
Property things that had happened the day before. So we were listening for noise. Everything was kind of quiet.
The sale brought a plethora of people to their door, confused about which piece of land was for sale, leading to a dispute of property lines.
While we were out at one point doing survey lines, and there was a flash of a car that went up Candace and Donnie's driveway. Something about it struck me wrong.
She and her family next heard a truck door slamming and dismissed it as their neighbors. The next sound was harder to justify. About an hour and a half before Summer is thought to go missing, Jody Sue, her son, and her daughter heard something far more suspicious. A scream.
Stopped all three of us cold.
Her daughter was the first to go to the cabin door. Then all three were there, listening still.
We heard just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
Animalistic, but not an animal.
Knew it was, wrong. It wasn't a dog. It wasn't an animal.
That vigilance kicking into overdrive. Jody Sue and her son went out to look for the source of the scream.
My son and I decided to go out, look and see what we could see. We went back onto the bank. Didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything.
They went on with their evening. The kids returned to being kids. Jody Sue headed down her driveway around 6 to tend to flowers.
And at this point, I start hearing Candace hollering for Summer. And then my brain immediately went, scream earlier, this, uh-oh.
Jody Sue was the first to hear those calls and the first to join the search for Summer.
I dropped my purse. I tried to yell up at Candace. I was like, I'm looking, and I started looking.
Jody Sue searched one side of a creek, Summer's brothers the opposite side.
And you gave statements to the police, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Jody Sue had been interviewed many times by investigators, bringing up the scream often. But the sheriff doesn't believe the scream is related to the disappearance of Summer Wells.
She's been interviewed numerous times by not only my agency.
Now, Ronnie Lawson and them, they say that maybe they've changed on this. I don't know, but they haven't said so. But they say that they're not really a believer in the scream.
But the TBI and the FBI, and we don't find anything with that complaint or information related to this.
Now, authorities are looking for the driver of a red Toyota Tacoma that was in the area around the time Summer went missing, and stressing that this person is a potential witness.
Statewide Amber Alert. She was last seen outside of her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? TBI, in the very beginning, she was last seen outside of her home. Outside of her home. Don says we weren't 30 or 40 feet away. Don said we were screaming. I mean, they were screaming her name. Candace says, I know someone didn't come up here, buy her swing, and take her.
Person is a potential witness.
Listen.
Statewide Amber Alert. She was last seen outside of her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road.
She was last seen outside of her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road,
which is located in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County. A family member reported her missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at approximately 6:30 Tuesday evening. At the time she went missing, Summer was reportedly wearing a gray pants and a pink shirt. She is believed to be barefoot. We do want to encourage the public, especially residents living in the area of Ben Hill Road, to check any trail cameras or security cameras that they might have that could have captured Summer on video or
could have captured Summer
on video or in photographs. We also encourage residents to check any crawl spaces, outbuildings, or sheds that would make for good hiding places. As we mentioned, the search is ongoing. There are a number of agents.
Candace come pulling in the driveway. I run out to the truck to get Summer, and I forgot for a minute that she wasn't with us any longer. So that was really depressing, you know.
Yeah, up to work, yes.
Okay. How far away do you work from?
Well, it depends. You know, I might do a house in West Virginia somewhere.
Oh, I gotcha. When the incident with Summer happened, when Summer disappeared, where were you working that day?
Let's see, I was in Jonesboro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jonesboro, which?
Yeah, Jonesboro.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know this area very well.
Yeah.
How far away is that from home?
Well, it takes 45 minutes to get from there to my house.
Okay.
And so up 81 all the way. And
but Don says that he made it in about 20 minutes that day. Smiley Stories World, thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you very, very much. Maybe it's Don Cannon, definitely. Yep. Thank you so much, Miss Smiley. Much love to you, my dear. Appreciate you. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. Yeah, and Candace is up on the hill with Don. I know a lot of people, I don't know why, but a lot of people's been texting me and asking. They're like, is Don and Candace is at 100% up on the hill right now.
That's where I was working. And previous to the day someone come up missing, I fired the guy.
Now, this is where he starts talking about Dudley. He fired Dudley on June 14th, which is a lot's happening on June 14th. Now, I believe Dudley and him are pretty similar, one and the same in a lot of aspects, but when Dudley is not clean. When Dudley is clean, I think he's a pretty good guy. But, you know, he struggles with some substance issues. And, you know, when people are struggling, a lot of times they're not the same, right? And we're going to get into Dudley here in a little bit because Dudley knows a lot. He knows how Don operates.
He was extremely out there. He's taught.
Don is the type, I can't stress to you how manipulating he is. And we hear that word all the time, manipulating. But he's the type that will bear false witness against you. For instance, one day, Dudley and him was working, and I believe this because people that I've spoken to in the past about Don said that he would do things and then blame it on someone else to get them in trouble. He threw mud one day on a window or something like that, and then he takes a picture and he shows his boss and says Dudley did that. And Don loves to fuck with people. He loves to see people's reactions. They played sick pranks with their daughter's case at times to get people's reaction.
Yeah, I guess pretty well, but
Something about the boys saying, where y'all going? They were carrying Summer out the house, Don and Candace. She was head down on his shoulder, carried her out and left. He even said if anything was ever going to happen, it was going to be on Candace's watch.
And he certainly did say that. He said that with his own lips. I've told Candace, protect her. I always knew something was going to happen to our daughter. Carol, thank you so much, my dear, for 16 months. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you for being 923, Joe. Appreciate you. Yep, that's right, Bushi. Yep. Calling Jenny saying the FBI took Don. Correct. This is Dudley Ajon. He worked with Don up until the day before Summer goes missing. And this is one time that I used to not believe that this was pre-planned. I 1000% believe this was pre-planned now. I believe it was at least pre-planned by the day before Summer went missing.
He knew that she was.
My wife and I talked about that, and I really believe, I don't know my wife thinks, but I really believe that Summer got hurt, and fell and killed herself. That was a dangerous house.
Now, I don't believe it was an accident at all. It used to be one of my top theories. An accident happened and they freaked out. Not anymore.
And for her to have to say she came out and screamed. Why did you scream? What did you see that you had to scream?
So you believe Jody Sue when she said she heard that scream?
Yeah, I did. She saw her daughter dead. We had to work till 9 o'clock because he had child care services coming to his house.
This is Don saying that he had to work. This was the day before Summer went missing. This is the day Dudley got fired. Don said he had to work to 9 o'clock because CPS was coming to their house. And Don says CPS was there the 14th. That's coming from his own lips. Now, he says he was there, but I don't believe Don was there. Don says that CPS was there to clear the case, but CPS doesn't do that. For those of you who know, my best friend in real life, she's worked for CPS over 20 years. They do not come to your house just to clear they'll send you a letter. Thank you so much, Drew. Really do appreciate you, my Leon. Thank you. Leslie, that's a good point about Don among all the other countless blogs who have this big fascination with causing reactions as a way to test and manipulate. Yes. 1000%, Drew. 1000%. Thank you so much, my dear, for your support. Really, really do appreciate that. And He likes to bear false witness. That's in the 10, Don. The 10 Commandments.
Yeah, I'm like, why do you have childcare services in your house?
Yeah.
Worked till 9 o'clock because he had childcare services coming to his house.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
And I'm like, why do you have childcare services?
Why do you have child care services coming to your house? Now, Don says it was because someone had called and said that the kids were playing with pew-pews. But again, that's just what Don says. That doesn't mean that's the reason they were there.
Yeah.
And he said he couldn't be there, so I was already like, oh shit in my head now.
Now, again, to me, why, and Dudley also said before this interview that Don would stay inside the houses a lot of times that they were working at. He would sleep in the bathtub. He would put a microwave in the bathroom and all of that. Many times, CPS will, if there is an allegation against someone in the house, they call that what they call the alleged perpetrator. Yes, we see you, Sheila, honey. They call that the alleged perpetrator. Now, they can't kick someone out of the house, but they can say, if this person doesn't leave, then we are going to have to take the child out of the house. And to me, it seems like Don couldn't be there till after 9 o'clock because he may have been what they call the alleged perpetrator, which the allegation would have been against with CPS. Again, I don't find it a coincidence, in my opinion, that the next day after CPS is there, Summer is missing.
The problem is Don Wells, Candace Wells, knows what happened to Summer Wells. So I personally believe the accident happened on Monday or possibly Sunday night or Monday, because that's the day I
Now, this did not happen. It did not happen.
saw him, went to work, and when I seen him, I've never seen Don this way before. He had this look on his face like something really bad happened.
So she went missing on that 15th when you say the Monday.
That's the 4th the day I got fired that evening. That's the day he said, well, he was talking about having everybody at the job and stuff. Tuesday, the day Summer come missing, I believe is what I heard. Richard Tucker and all of them. But that was Monday, not Tuesday. So to me, I'm like, why is he lying about the date? He was supposed to go work Sunday. He didn't show up. I worked Saturday. And Monday I go in and he's sitting on the tub, like head down and just distraught. And I'm like, this ain't good. At the job site.
What job site was that?
Subdivision, and it was right behind the BP gas station. Gotta be like Fall Branch or don't know in Bluff City. It was close at Jonesboro. I believe it was Jonesboro. Yep, that's what it was, Jonesboro. That was, but he didn't say I was there. See, he's saying that was on Tuesday.
Listen to this.
That's what I heard, but that was on Monday.
There you go. There you go. Don was there with his car the day before. And Don is making it seem like this all happened on Tuesday, the day Summer went missing. But it was actually on Monday.
That's the day I got fired. They were all there.
The day I got fired, they were all there.
On fire, you or Richard Tucker fired?
Don fired me. She drove in a Subaru.
Subaru.
Yeah, I believe.
Don fired me.
It got in and took it away.
Oh, they did?
5 months or something behind. I don't know. The day he fired me, he was driving with tools in it, and everybody's making fun of him. Like, Don, why are you driving your wife's car to work?
Now with that
I just thought it was odd because I've never seen it. I worked with him for 2 months. So move me away from Don. The dude's crazy. There's something wrong. They didn't listen to me. Instead, they set me up for a kill.
They didn't listen to me. Instead, they set me up for a kill.
Everyone used
They
to
didn't listen to me.
Everyone used to give Dudley hell for that, saying they set me up for the kill.
The oldest.
Yeah.
Okay, now listen to this. Listen to what happened, according to Dudley, that he saw with his own eyes with Don's oldest son, which was, he was like maybe 12 or 13 at the time. What he saw.
We were his son. Yeah, he had
His
one
son.
The oldest.
The oldest.
Yeah, yeah.
Josie?
Josie. Yeah. Professional. And to do it with your kid, 11 years old. Come on.
Same thing.
I've had Candace run out the door.
Okay. He says that Dudley says that Don was smoking Mary Jane with his kid. And in my opinion, that might have been something that a CPS claim may have been about. Just my opinion, though.
They're telling me, did I ever tell you I hate fucking kids? Run
Listen to
out
that.
11 years old? Come on.
Same thing.
I've had Candace run out the door and telling me, did I ever tell you I hate fucking kids?
Candace, she says, she comes out the door and says, did I ever tell you I hate effing kids? Very interesting. I want to show you a channel now. This is an old video, but it's been around. It's from a channel called Rubber Ducky. And link will be provided in the description. I'm going to drop it here in chat as well. Right there. Let me see here. Rubber Ducky. Rubber Ducky. Okay. Listen to this.
Investigation into Summer's disappearance is still going on tonight. Summer Wells was reported missing by her family on the evening of June 15th. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an Amber Alert the next day. For several weeks following, hundreds of rescue personnel performed a ground search in the immediate area near her Beech Creek community home in Hawkins County. While the search not as visible as before, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson today said that he and his officers have not given up on finding her.
And 110 in Hill Road off of Beech Creek should be the first residence on your right, reference to a missing 4-year-old.
Thank you so much, Miss Pamela. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much for your support. Means so much to me too. Thank you very, very much for that. Good to see you, Miss Pamela. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, loves. Okay, here we go. Criticus the Rubber Ducky links provided in the description and in chat.
The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk. Advised that the mother had went for a walk. Advised that the mother had went for a walk. Came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
So they say Summer was gone for about 10 minutes. The time that they called at about 6:26, I think the 911 call went in. So about 6:15.
Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV.
That tote right there. Lots of totes.
And I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes.
The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk.
Listen.
Summer, was she in her bathing suit?
Yes.
And how did she get in her bathing suit? Or...
I actually put her bathing suit on before we left home because it was really hot out that day.
Okay.
Here she says she 30 more from 1,000 thumbs ups. Yeah, thank you so much. Candace says she puts her bathing suit on before she left that day. They also say that they change Summer at Allie's. So at some point, again, to me, this seems pre-planned because there was a bathing suit. And, I don't just wear a bathing suit, or you probably don't just wear a bathing suit underneath all your clothes just in case you may go swimming that day.
So it was just something small and then not so hot.
Okay.
Because I know how she gets too hot.
Okay. And what was the temperature that day? Give me an idea.
Probably in the 80s.
So it's Tennessee warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it is now.
And
one of the hottest.
And are you an air
hottest days of the
conditioned person, or in your mom's truck was the AC on or
I
off?
don't like AC.
Okay.
Mom doesn't like AC.
Did she change clothes?
Yeah, I changed the clothes because when I have the windows down, it could be 100 degrees. I'll have all the windows up. Roll up the window, Mommy, I'm cold. And she not.
So summer's always hot. Hey, Jinx, good to see you, honey. Summer's always hot. Summer's always cold. She's changing at Allie's. I put her bathing suit on her before we left that morning.
Be cold, but I still do it.
Is that part of summer?
I thought she gets too hot.
That's just summer.
Okay.
Because I know how she gets too hot.
Okay. Who was home when you got home?
My 3 sons.
Okay. And how old's your oldest?
He'll be 13 in September.
Okay. So was he babysitting?
Well, technically they weren't really. They were watching TV and sleeping at the same time.
Okay.
Watching TV and sleeping at the same time. Kind of like Daniel and Malaya in Jack and Lily's case. They're awake and asleep at the same time too. It's amazing how these people do that.
And I was just gonna run out for a second, and we never even planned. I didn't even plan for Hunter to even be with us that day.
Okay, stop there. I was just going to run out for a second, but you put her bathing suit on underneath of her before you left. So, and who's running out for a second when you go to the hospital? I think it's very interesting that morning, according to the tree trimmers, this guy talks to Grandis and Candace and sees Summer in the back seat of the truck. He told this, according to the tree trimmers, with his very own lips.
And I put my hand on the scale. I said, boys, watch Summer. I'll be right back. And I had to go over and help Mom. She was still sitting over there. And I had to go and get her knee brace and fix it for her because it was twisted crap.
Okay.
It took me like 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a time person. Never have been.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not a time person. Never have been.
Okay.
And she had an appointment. In my opinion, most ER visits are 6 hours. Well, you got to remember, this is in the heart of the Rona. Don't forget that. This is in the Rona times. So, I'm surprised they even saw her, number one, because it was, it was really just emergency situations at that time.
Let's talk about drugs. I mean, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. Is your wife currently on any drugs?
Zero. No.
Nothing for anxiety, nothing.
Nothing. No.
Okay.
She's even trying to quit drinking at this point, because it hurts, and everything like that.
Right.
So she's trying to give up everything.
Right.
Those dogs, those are actual dogs on the property barking. Yes, they took Grandis to the ER. This is actual recording of when Chris McDonough from the interview room was showing up at the property. I can attest to you that I have been to the Wells property many times before they got rid of all of their dogs. When you are on Beech Creek Road and pull onto Ben Hill Road with the corner, there is a home and they have dogs. Those dogs start barking. Then you go just around a little curve or two, and by the time you pull up at the bottom of the hill, and I've got video that shows this, and I've got photos that shows this on my Justin for All channel, those dogs are at the top of the hill barking at you, and some of them will come all the way down to the bottom of the hill. Many times, Adele.
Okay, and now there is a rumor about these polygraph tests. Clear that up.
All right, the first one that I took, and I didn't really take it because they kind of threw me in the back of the squad car, so I was really upset and, just all the...
And when she says they threw her back in the squad car, they literally threw her in the back of the squad car. I got a lot of shit for when a lot of people was taking up for Dawn and Candace because microphone just went kaput. Because I got the information that I knew that was true. One of the women from the TBI got Candace and said, put her up against the car and said, tell us what you did to your daughter. And they threw her in the back of the cop car and took her down to do a lie detector test. And she was crying and all that because she wasn't going down there, I guess on her own accord, you could say, like just wanting to, drive herself down there. And she's talking to Hunter in the back of the car, who is a 15-year-old boy at the time. We got to 1,000 thumbs up. My mods, thank you guys so much. You guys, every one of you guys that hit that thumbs up button, really do appreciate that so very much. God bless you. Thank you.
I was crying my eyes out.
Okay.
And so when I got up there to the courthouse, we tried to do it, but I couldn't do it.
Okay.
So we waited a few days, and then I went back and I did it, and I passed it.
Okay.
So that was that.
Okay. When we were driving up the driveway there, if you've when you get up up to her street and you turn up her driveway, just before we did that, she pulled over, got out of the car, walked over to the gate. I observed quickly that the gate was a chain, a large chain. She unlocked the chain and then threw it into the woods, but almost immediately 5 or 6 dogs came out of the woods right at at the truck.
The rumor is that they were taken out of the home. Were they taken from you guys? Were they? Oh no. Yesterday?
A couple days ago, they come to me and said I had somebody, either posing or said they had the inside scoop with TBI and that they knew that I sold my daughter for drugs.
Yes, they said.
And I flipped out. I believed that stuff. Like an idiot. I believed it. And I flipped out.
The TBI, according to Don, did accuse him of selling his daughter for rugs.
I started drinking and everything else.
And he said this multiple times.
That's why they took our kids.
Well, the water's up a lot further than it usually is. Usually it's down. You can usually see all that wood sticking up out of the water. And she was just playing right here.
And what time do you get here about? If you remember.
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest with you. Time is... I don't keep track of time.
No, I understand.
I mean, I get up in the morning, I do my thing with the kids, and then we go to bed.
Okay.
The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk.
I don't keep track of time.
No, I understand.
By the way, it was Dawn that said Candace went for a walk in the alleged 911 call. Because you got to remember, Dawn calls actually, I think they didn't call the emergency. I don't know if they necessarily called the emergency number, but Candace called and Dawn said he hung up and called about Summer being missing as well. Because let's just be honest, in my opinion, he wanted the law enforcement to know his location at the time. But it was Dawn that said Candace had went for a walk.
How is she? What's her behavior?
She's jumping around, splashing, having a good time, just like Summer would always do.
Okay.
I mean, that's how all my kids are.
Okay.
They just splash around and have a good time.
Does she go underwater at any time that you see?
Oh, she just dips her head in, but sticks it right back up. I mean, it was only up to here at the time.
Where did this idea of under the water, where's that come from? Okay.
That just blew my mind when I heard that. I really can't tell you all the time details because time gets away from you when you're trying to enjoy yourself. She still got her arm up? No. Oh, that's what I was trying to get.
Okay. This video right here is them about 4 minutes away from home. And she tells Grandis to take a picture of Summer because she's got her arm up, supposedly. And she puts her arm down. And Grandis accidentally takes a video and a picture. Very, very short video. And Summer is asleep here. But she's got a jacket, a long sleeve jacket on. And I'm assuming perhaps a shirt underneath of that. And pants on. They had left the swimming hole, went back to the pharmacy, and went to the grocery store. And then maybe Burger King. And, where did she get this change of clothes? In my opinion, they got this at the Dollar General or Walmart somewhere that day. I don't know. Maybe they got it prior. They did say this was Summer's first day of school clothes. I don't know. Yes. Hunter had said that they had stopped a couple years ago, and when they went to get groceries in that same plaza there is a Burger King. The jacket is fleece lined. Yes. Got to remember, it's 86 degrees outside. This is June 15th in Tennessee.
She still got her arm up? No. Oh, that's what I was trying to catch. She still got her arm up? No. Oh, that's what I was trying to catch. No.
That's Grandma's voice.
No. Very hard to deal with. And my life will never be normal. No. Without
I think it's Grandma's voice.
knowing where my daughter is.
Here.
No. With a missing child, there's a hole in your heart that can't be filled. No. And it's an impossible journey every day.
Now, again, she's propped up with her seatbelt around her. The strap is behind her, and she's leaning up against these gallons of milk. One is laid sideways, and the other one, what's very interesting to me here is how the milk is laid. They had to have placed the milk this way to specifically prop her up. You know what? I've got a very, very recent audio of Candace saying they never went to Sonic that day. So this was propped up very specifically so she could be propped up on. In my opinion, I find this very interesting. I believe that Summer may have been given something here before she was given over to someone, perhaps. Because you don't lay milk like this on its side. You wouldn't do that unless you're doing it in a situation like this. Hey, vet girl, good to see you, honey. Thank you for joining us. So I can't think of another reason why you would prop the milk underneath, this 1 gallon of milk on its side. So I do believe that she very well likely was given something. I do not believe she is dead here. For those of you that know me, I've worked in 3 different funeral homes. I've seen a lot of dead people. I do not believe she is dead here. I can pretty much, in my opinion, guarantee you she is not deceased here. But she could be drugged, or something could have happened. Yeah. And this was at 3:09, allegedly. This is at 3:09 p.m. on the 15th. Again, they get home about 3:15 and about 3:30. Remember, Don, Candace, and Grandis's phones are clean, wiped clean. Which is just about the time the tree trimmers are getting off work as well. A lot of people says this looks like bruising or whatever. I don't agree with this. It does. I can understand how people see this as bruising or whatever, but if you look at a lot of Summer's pictures, she's I think it's just the way kind of the sun hits her and she tans right there, and I believe it's more shadowing than anything. This is not, I mean, when someone dies, you would see some lividity and things like that, but you wouldn't see it specifically just right there, and it would be a lot darker. Let's see here. Pamela, thank you so much. Appreciate you, my darling. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Hey, Nikki. Nicolina. I love her and her big old wiener. Love you, Nicolina. Appreciate you, darling. Good to see you, honey. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
You know, I really can't tell you all the time details because time gets away from you when you're trying to enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm. I don't think she's wearing makeup here. It makes me wonder, again, because remember, Don fired Dudley the next day. He said he had to stay at home till 9 o'clock, or he had to stay at work till 9 o'clock because CPS was there. Don said CPS was going to be, or was there that day of the 14th. He fired Dudley that day. I do believe, in my opinion, this was pre-planned at least by on the 14th, just in my opinion. And it makes me wonder if they this was kind of an alibi, pick up Hunter, all of that. Take Summer swimming wears you out, as well as a kid, as for a kid. And also, did they give her something around this time so they could hand her off? This was supposed to be, I think, her kindergarten outfit. What
You want to keep this about Summer. And
her nails is interesting to me, though. I will say her nails is very, very interesting to me. Because remember, she went swimming. She had already been swimming. And a lot of people says it's fingernail polish. There could be some fingernail polish on there, but to me, underneath her fingernails looks dirty. And it doesn't matter if you're swimming in a pond or a pool, there shouldn't be any dirt under the fingernail.
yeah, and I just want to get the, whatever you can clear up about that day is awesome. So so Candace realizes, oh my gosh, Summer's gone. She calls you, freaking out.
Yes.
And what did she say? I can't find her.
She says, I can't find Summer. I can't find Summer. I says, okay, hang up from me and call 911. So she did that. She had to go get her mom's phone because we live in the country. And so when she hung up, I called 911 and they transferred me to Hawkins County. And I threw the rest of my tools in the car and I beat all the police there. We were about 45 minutes away.
What's next? She's not dead in that picture. She's just not. I can tell. I can't tell you how many dead people I've seen, and she's just not dead there. I mean, she's not.
I probably made it.
You got there
20
But
minutes.
first.
but if she did die there in a car, most likely they would pick up if she was there for any amount of time.
And when you got there, what was going on?
When I got home, I drove to the bottom property and drove all the way to the bottom of the creek. First thing, and I seen my sons out looking everywhere, and my neighbor, and my heart dropped. I knew right then she was. I knew right then she was abducted. I knew it.
Personally, I think someone come up here and grabbed her and ran down the hill.
I think so
and
too.
threw her in a car and drove as far away as they could from this area.
That they were searching at the top of our hill for Summer, and I knew my best bet.
Okay, this is Don retracing the day of what happened.
Was to drive straight to the bottom of our property. So up here where this house is on the left is our road. I passed it straight.
Okay, right here is Ben Hill Road. He should have turned left right here immediately, but he didn't. He passes it because his property is along this roadway after where he turns on his road.
This is all our property here to the left. All this. Our
All
house
of this
is
is
up
their
there on
property.
top. So all this is our property. So I turned straight away in here.
So we turned, I turned. Who's this we? Who's this we? By the way, this is also where Don was seen talking to the tree trimmers the day after Summer had vanished, saying that he would see her in the resurrection and all that. They were working. You see this pole right there? They were cutting a huge line right here, and they were cutting a huge line up through here, and this goes right literally up to their yard. And the tree trimmers said that they were indeed, some of them was up there the day Summer vanished, but remind you, it had to be before 3:30 p.m.
Straight. Our house is up there.
Crap, I was muted, sorry. It's hard to see, but this is a very, very big line that they were cutting. And back behind it, there is another line that they cut, and that goes straight up to their yard.
House is up there. I drove Subaru straight down here. To the creek here. I went down this hill right here. I seen my boys straight away.
Okay, this creek down here, this is where the boys were allegedly looking for Summer, and this is where allegedly Jody Sue was. And they were down there. And around this time, the boys tell Jody Sue that the last time they saw Summer was at the swing set. At the swing set. Vintage. Thank you so much, Mama. Appreciate you for getting 5 Pearl necklaces. Really do appreciate that. We changed your name. Change your name on me, mama. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you. If you received one of those pearl necklaces from our vintage hooker, make sure you give her a big, big thank you. Congratulations to those individuals who received that. Thank you so much. Remember, the grass was cut and they hit a power line out of mistake, which means the power company had to come out and repair line cameras in those trucks. That's a good point. Hopefully.
Over there, all three of them were together. And I looked over to my left over this way, and I see my neighbor over there. And that's when I knew something was very, very wrong. And then
Don and Candace here, they have 11.5 acres.
so
One thing you seemed always super sure of, Dawn, was that she would never leave the property. She just wouldn't do it. And you guys reference her swing a lot. Why do you reference the swing? Was that like a boundary area for her? Did you guys say don't go past your swing? Or why was, Candace mentioned it a few times too, she would never leave past her swing?
Well, she would go, she may not have. I mean, I've seen her go to the edge of the property. I mean, not to the edge of the property, but to the edge of the lawn, but only like if the boys were down there or something. Like the boys went down the creek one day together and she went halfway down the hill, but she wouldn't go all the way. I mean, she was very leery. We tried to tell her or teach her to be very leery because we do have some wild bears. There's been a lot of bears spotted, and we know there are creeps around there, but we just never thought that one would, lay in wait and try to grab her like what has happened. But especially midday, not midday, but it's daytime.
Yes, he was questioned the next day. Or not the next day. He was questioned that day. When was it? But then they say he supposedly missed work the next day.
I don't know. I hollered several times, screamed for Summer. No, of course, no reply.
But if he believes she was abducted right there, right, from the very beginning, why is he yelling for her?
Old hunting blind there.
And you got to remember, while he's down here and the kids are down here and the neighbor is down here, up on the hill, right up on this hill, there is police officers with his wife. This is right when, police was already, a couple cars was already there. Why wouldn't he go up there and be speaking to the police? And why, like Chris McDonough says, won't he talk about that building? Did you search the building? Of course, if you're down there, that's the first thing you're going to go to is search that building. Randy said that he saw Summer that morning with Grandis and Candace in the back cab. Truck, yeah.
You see where the tree is. I'm gonna get out. Anyway, you can see where the tree service is cleared.
He was not there before the police. He said he was, but then Chris busted him on that because Chris knew that the police were already there. And then he's like, oh, well, maybe a car or two was already there.
All this out. All the way, both ways for power lines. Okay. All the way up to that house up there. And we taught them to go in pairs, at least in pairs, if not all together, not ever by themselves. And, every day before I left for work, she says, Dad, will you bring me candy? Or she'd give me a list. And so every day when I come home, she'd come running down the hill at the truck and meet me and open my door.
Running down the hill? I don't remember this one. Running down the hill to meet him where his truck is?
And just say, Daddy, did she bring me candy? And I says, yeah, Summer, I did. But I don't, there's a couple times I'd forget, I'd be tired or whatever. And she'd say, that's okay.
Yes. I don't know why that's circled, but there is a timestamp down here on this photo. I've got it somewhere. And this is a picture of one of the kids, but the timestamp is around 6 something June 15th, right around the time Candace or Summer goes missing. And it's very interesting. In my opinion, that's when they were deleting the hell out of their phones and just pressed something. Yeah, the door is open. Yes. 20 minutes after this photo is deleted. Oh, there's Summer right there. There's a picture of Summer right there. Yeah. But I don't think this was the day that I don't know if this was, it says the day that they was missing, but I don't know if that's like she saved it and it shows that date or what.
Now, authorities are looking for the driver of a red Toyota Tacoma that was in the area around the time Summer went missing, and stressing that this person is a potential witness.
I've never seen this truck, and I've never heard of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. I mean, if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen.
No one has been named a suspect, and authorities have not ruled Summer's disappearance as an abduction. But tonight, her parents have one plea.
Please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go.
Still there.
And where we can get her back.
Please bring her back home.
Just let her come home, please.
We miss her so much.
Yeah. Crazy, huh? That's a really, really good video in my opinion. Oh, gotcha. 1 second, y'all. One second, I need to pull something up here. If we go to the timeline, take this link down. Guys, if you're just joining us, please hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly, greatly appreciate that. This is the timeline of that day, and 3:09 is when the milk jugs. And this is a very old document. And this is per Candace. The photo of Summer Wells' arm down, leaning against the milk jugs, is taken, and they were about 5 minutes away from home. 3:09, 3:15 per Candace. When we got to the house, we unlocked the gate, went up, and I woke her up. She got up, I unbuckled her, and she got out of the car. 3:30. Per Don Wells, he stated in an interview that all their phones are wiped this point forward. Do you guys think it's just a coincidence? Oh, thank you so much, Money. Appreciate your love. Do you guys think it's a coincidence that 15 minutes after they arrived at the home, that not one, but 3 phones, according to Don, is deleted? Or do you think there's more to the story? Between 3:30 and 4:15, this is their story. Candace Bly Wells tells Grandis that they grabbed the boys, who they said had been alone the entire time, to help them with their groceries, even though Candace said they only got a couple items. She says she was in there about 5 or 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. Hunter says she was in the grocery store for at least an hour. Per Candace Bly Wells, they go into the house, sort out the groceries. Grandis took hers and went over to her trailer on the property to put things away. Candace Bly Wells and Summer Wells stayed in the house and put away groceries, watched TV on and off, and hung out with the boys. Candace Bly Wells then started to do some laundry. 4:15 per Candace Bly Wells. She steps out and sees Grandis on her step of the trailer looking at the plants on the ground, and tells Candace that they need to be transplanted into bigger pots. Summer Wells comes out and plants with Candace Bly and Grandis for about 30 to 50 minutes. They said it took about 30 to 50 minutes for them to plant about 3 succulents and put the dirt in that barrel and the rocks on it, which I am an avid gardener and I have a greenhouse, and I can tell you for them to take 30 to 50 minutes to plant that, that would be a long ass time. Then Grandis called Summer Wells over and gives her a piece of candy. Per June 28th interview, Candace Bly Wells stated that she was not certain how many hours passed from the time that they got home and when Summer Wells disappeared. You know, I really can't tell you all the details because when time gets away with you when you're trying to enjoy yourself, quote, end quote. Between 4:15 and 4:30, per Candace Bly Wells, Summer Wells then asked to go back in the house with her brothers. Candace Bly Wells stated that she got up, walked her across to where she could literally see her walk into the kitchen and into the home. Per Candace Bly Wells, she goes back to Grandis's trailer to fix her knee brace about 2 to 5 minutes. 4:30 to 4:42, per the neighbor, her and the kids were in the cabin and they heard a scream happen outside. Said it sounded so different and wrong, and everyone got quiet within the house. It was strange. 5 o'clock per neighbor. By then, they were assisting in the search. Per Candace Bly Wells, she goes back in the home, yells a few times for Summer Wells, and then goes downstairs to check. She was just gone. Candace Bly Wells sent her 3 boys down the creek to look for Summer Wells. Then, when they still did not find Summer Wells, Candace Bly Wells called Dawn because that's what I do. She says, automatically, I freak out, you know, quote, end quote. Dawn Wells was working in Jonesboro, allegedly, and Candace Bly Wells calls from her own phone. You know, listen to this. then drops her phone and runs to Grandis's to get the phone to call 911. When told about the scream at a later date, Candace Bly Wells states that she was inside looking for Summer Wells when it happened and that the TV was on and she did not hear a thing. 6:26, per Candace Bly Wells, calls 911 and with Grandis's phone, then drives Grandis's truck, quote, all the way down by the church, then went all the way down the other way, and I didn't see nobody even out and about, quote, end quote. Then I went all the way back in the holler as far as the truck can go, and I didn't see nothing back in there either. When I was coming back out of the holler, the cops were coming up in my driveway. So I just followed them up there. I don't recall if Don Wells was here before the police got here or if he was here at the same time as they showed up. 6:29, per Don Wells, he calls 911 from work. 6:30, per Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, Summer Wells is reported missing. 7 p.m. per Don Wells, he makes a 45-minute drive home in 25 to 35 minutes. Per Don Wells, he arrives before law enforcement, but many neighbors were already searching. Don Wells arrives at the shed that we was just playing that video with. But so Don Wells are at the same road, not by the home. I don't know what you mean by that. These are just their accounts. 7:03 p.m. search and rescue is in motion. 7:30 p.m. Hunter, per Hunter, it was a short period of time after they dropped me off that they said that she was missing. H says that Candace Bly Wells contacts him that night to tell him. The next day, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation puts out a child alert on Summer Wells. 11 a.m. the next day, TBI changed the endangered alert to an amber alert. 4 p.m. the next day, officials with Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the TBI held what would be the first of several news conferences updating the public on the search efforts. Per Ronnie Lawson at the second press conference, he states that everyone is a person of interest and that everything is on the table. TBI spokesperson Leslie Earhart said the circumstances surrounding the disappearance remains unclear. Search teams said, quote, steep and dangerous terrain, including dense canopy coverage and ground cover, were hampering the effort. Poor cell phone service was also making it difficult for them to communicate. Ground search crews had covered a 1-mile radius around Summers' residence so far. Crews hoped to have a 2-mile radius covered by the end of the day. Over 48 hours since she was first reported missing, officials said that they had received and pursued 50 leads so far. By the 6:17, by 8:40 p.m., investigators began asking anyone who lives on Ben Hill Road to check their trail cameras, surveillance footage, and any outbuildings for any signs of Summer Wells. That day, 2 days, Summer went missing on the 15th. So there was the 16th and then the 17th. Hunter says on the 17th, Candace stopped by Hunter's home to speak to Hunter when she was not supposed to be speaking to him. They both called Ryan. Candace called, and then Don hung up and called after Summer, or after Candace. And the 18th, this is when Don says, when I got home, I drove in one of his interviews. When I got home, I drove to the bottom of the property and I realized all my neighbors and stuff were combing the woods looking for her. And I realized right then and there that she was not there. I knew right then and there that she was gone because she would never leave there on her own. Someone had taken her. We know that there's people praying all around the world, praying for a safe return. So many people love her. She would never leave our hill. I think that someone snuck up here and grabbed her. I don't think she's in the area because the dog goes down to the road, and that's the end of the trail. Where was that? But I don't know that for a fact, he says. The way that she just disappeared, she would never do that. She was planting flowers with her mother and the grandmother, and she wanted to go into the house. So my wife watched her go into the door, and she went into the house. And the boys were on the internet, of course, and she wanted to go downstairs and play with her toys. So when her mother came in and she says, Summer, and she went down to the basement and she didn't answer. So she went down there and she was gone. So she went to the basement door, which was unlocked, and we haven't seen her since. At the very beginning, Don says the basement door was unlocked. Jose, that stayed in that house, said that door was always locked and that there was a couch in front of it. There was also a that's now ripped down, by the way, but there was a tent that looked like a two-way mirror that you couldn't see in there at the time. And also, Allie said that door always was locked in interviews, and that there was a blue couch in front of it, and that there was the tent there as well. Also, Don, that day he mentioned Summer by name rather than her or she, mentions how he believes in the resurrection, talks about how they taught Summer to stay on the property. Donwell states that the basement door was unlocked, believes a bad person grabbed her, and states that all offenders, SEX offenders, and people seen says all offenders and people seen on neighbors' cams have been checked out. Per TBI update, the card team joined. The circumstances around her disappearance is unclear. They joined before that. Drivers in the area seen on camera have been interviewed. No one is ruled out, exploring all possibilities, possibly wandered off. Equisearch is there by the 19th as well. Let's see here. By the 26th, the TBI asked for the driver of a Toyota pickup truck to come forward after a witness reported seeing it in the Beech Creek area in the late afternoon or early evening on June, they said 14th or 15th. Officials said that the person may have seen something related to Summer Wells' disappearance. The truck can be described as a 1998 to 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack or white buckets in the truck. To date, the driver has not been found. And 6/27 is when they started scaling back operations. By that time, they had searched over 4.6 square miles. Over 3,000 acres have been searched since Summer went missing. And 6/28 is when they first did their first interview with big media. They sit down together. Yeah. So all of that stuff. All right, guys. I've been here, just hit 3-hour mark. So I'm going to end it here. Really do appreciate you guys. Your knees hurt. Who feels like planting flowers when in pain? It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Wouldn't be the cab of the truck. Yeah. She seems to be a mean old broad. Grandis is a mean old broad. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you all so much for joining me. Much love to each and every one of you. I will see you guys. I might do another live later tonight. I don't know. There's some more stuff coming out about Rebecca Parks, big stuff that came out today. But if not, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really, really do appreciate you. I do believe we are much, 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 much closer to getting answers for Summer. And continue to pray. Please, please, please. It is a sad case. Thank you, Vet Girl. It's a different case. It's so. All right, guys. Thank you, Vet Girl. Thank you, Kimberly, Grace, everyone. God bless you. We'll see you guys on the next one.